This segment is sponsored by SWACO.
Communities across the U.S. are faced with significant amounts of wasted food. In fact, nationally, 40% of the food that is produced never gets eaten. That's crazy. Here with us today are Hannah Greer-Brown, she's SWACO's communications manager, and Eli Sparks, curriculum manager and lead food educator for Local Matters. And they're here today to tell us how Central Ohio stacks up when it comes to rescuing and composting our food. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you, Sean.
All right, Eli, we'll get to you in a second, but I want to start with Hannah. Hannah, can you just give everybody a reminder of how big of an issue food waste is here in Central Ohio?
Absolutely. Food waste is a significant portion of the material that's being thrown away every day right here in Central Ohio. You mentioned that national statistic that 40% of the food that gets produced in our country is never ever eaten.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we look at that here in Central Ohio, we know that it's expensive to buy food and never eat it. In fact, the average family of four is spending about $1,500 every year on food that they purchase but then never eat. So SWACO is really focused on that. We want to help families both save money, but also reduce the waste that's happening in their households.
Right. Every time I hear that dollar amount, it just blows my mind. So for people at home who may have heard this for the very first time, they're thinking, well, what can we do? We don't want to waste that much money.
Absolutely. Thankfully, Central Ohio is fortunate to have so many partners working to not only reduce food waste, but take care and help our families and residents right here in our neighborhoods. And so one of the reasons SWACO partners with organizations like Local Matters is so that we can provide those tips and tricks to reduce waste and save money.
Well, Eli, she served you up on a silver platter right there. You know that, right? So why don't you
That's right.
yes, fill us in on what Local Matters does offer in the way of services and programs.
Yeah, so thank you, Sean. So Local Matters has been around for a little over 10 years here in Columbus. And our aim is to, through partnerships like our partnership with SWACO, build healthy communities here in Columbus and around Central Ohio through food education, food access, and food advocacy. So we offer a variety of classes on everything from gardening to cooking healthy meals on a budget.
Mm-hmm.
We also provide fresh produce and shelf-stable items with our veggie van, which is our mobile market that travels throughout Columbus to communities where there may not be a grocery store nearby to offer those items at a low cost.
Before we started this interview, you and I were kind of going back and forth about the composting issue and how it's becoming a little more popular. So thanks to SWACO, you have received a grant for a composting program. Tell us how that's going.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We're so grateful for SWACO's support and leadership in this work. We're very grateful to have received through SWACO's Community Waste Reduction Grant an in-vessel composter that we now have at our office. And in a matter of days, we'll have that up and running. And what that'll allow us to do is use all of our food scraps from our classes, as well as garden scraps from our gardens throughout the city, to turn that into viable soil within just a few days. So a little over a week, and we can have soil that we can then turn around and use again in our gardens and share with partners so they can do their own growing.
If someone's watching and they're interested in the meal kit you mentioned or the veggie van, how do they get involved in that?
Yeah, so our meal kits are available at our veggie van, along with that fresh produce and those shelf-stable items. Meal kits also come along with some of our virtual classes that we're doing. And you can find that information on local-matters.org, see what we're up to. We have a class coming up on February 10th called Shop with the Doc that's open to the public to sign up for. So we encourage everyone to be a part of that, see if you can get in on that and cook a healthy meal with us.
We will. That's good news. And you mentioned, of course, the resources that can be found on the internet. So this goes to you, Hannah, for the families out there that are interested in some of the low-cost resources, the measures that they can take in order to make sure they're not wasting. Where should they go for that information?
Yeah, in addition to the Local Matters website, we would encourage people to check out SaveMoreThanFood.org. And we're actually featuring a virtual recipe that our friends at Local Matters provided to us to help you create a meal that not only is low waste, it's low cost. So head over to SaveMoreThanFood.org and check out those resources and that recipe.
All right, Hannah, always great to see you. And Eli, thank you for being with us as well today.
Thanks so much.
Take care. Resources are out there for families who are interested in low-cost, low-waste recipes. And as Hannah says, you can learn more at SaveMoreThanFood.org.